Hi, I'm Leslie, and I have the company Cimarrona. I normally make hats out of recycled sweaters, but today I'm going to show you how to make a pin using recycled sweater parts. So this is a way you can fill some of that extra time that you have at home. So let's get started. I've collected two sweaters that have been through the washer and the dryer. If you'll take those and turn them inside out, that'll be your first step. That exposes the seams. You're going to be using the seams as part of this embellishment. So I'll be showing you how to start cutting these sleeves off. That would be step one. If you make one little cut at the armpit and then follow that seam around, and you're going to do that to one sleeve, and then you're going to do that to another sleeve, and we're going to be using parts of the sleeves to make our flower pin. So I have two sleeves cut off. Now I'm going to open the sleeve up. Open both sleeves up. And then our next step is going to be to cut the seam part off. Now, since this has gone through the washer and the dryer, this wool has been felted or fulled. Fulled is the correct word to use. But we're going to be using this part as part of the petals for our flowers. So I'm going to use a rotary cutter on this. If you're using a rotary cutter, be especially careful. And I'm also using a cutting mat underneath it. So there's one of our strings. And there's another. So the next step is going to be to take one of these and decide which is going to be your petal color and which is going to be the center part color. The petal color, you're going to cut 5 3-inch pieces for your petals. And I'm using my cutting mat to measure the 3-inch pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, I'll take the other end, 5. So I have 5 pieces for petals. And now for the center part of your flower, you're going to cut one 5-inch piece. Yep, those were 3. I'm sorry, this is 5 if I just misspoke. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One 5-inch piece for the center. The other ingredient in this flower pin is the leaf shape. Now, I think I'm going to make my leaf shape out of the green fabric. You can cut this out with either your rotary cutter or some scissors. But you want it to be about 4 or 5 inches from end to end. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is about 5 inches from end to end. Okay, so I have my parts, and now I'm going to start to stitch them all together. And I'm using about a 26-inch, it's doubled over 26-inch, so it start off as 52 inches of thread. I've doubled it over, so it's about a 26-inch strand doubled of thread. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to begin by going about 1/4 of an inch in. We'll start by going from end to end to make a petal out of the 3-inch pieces. And we're just going to sew 1, 2, and I'm piercing these at about 1/4 of an inch in from the end. 3, 4, and 5. And then you're going to just pull those down to the end of your thread where you've made a knot, and then you're going to go back through them one more time. So I'm going to go through 2 at a time because it's just easier that way. This reinforces the petal shape, and I'm going to go through those 2 one more time also. So I've made the flower structure. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start attaching it to the leaf. So center it over the leaf shape and then go just straight down through wherever you ended up. Go straight to the other side. And then on that side, go ahead and secure it just with a knot. That way it's not going to slip off while you're working. The next thing I do is I'm going to go on the underneath side of the leaf and just tack it down with a couple of little stitches on each petal. I can feel the stitches on the petal shape on the other side, and I'm just going under and under. When you get back to where you started, you're going to come back up through the very center of your flower. That makes sense. I'll show you on this one where you can see where the little stitches were made to secure the petals. So now we're about to make the center part of the flower. You're going to do that by taking your contrasting center piece that you cut, and you're going to thread your way through the core of that. Don't try to do it all at once. Just carefully bring the needle and thread up through the center of that core. I'll explain why in just a second. This core is pretty dense, so it's a little bit tricky. Some cores are a little looser and a little easier to thread up through. Okay, I'm actually going to cut some of this excess off. I have plenty. Now, you have it threaded up through there, and what you're going to do next is you're going to coil it around and make a little spiral out of the core. And then start to secure it by stitching through to the back side. You're going to just go down through there once, twice, and then while you're doing the stitching and securing the core to the very center, You can also start to embellish with some beads. I have a couple of different colors of beads that I brought up just to sort of look at it and decide which would be the best, and I think I'm going to go with this lime green. Now I don't need too many of those, but it's up to you. This is your flower that you're making, so you can decide. You do need a few just to help secure the core to the back. So here's one bead. I'm just going to pick them up as I pass from the top side of the flower center to the bottom. So there's one. There's two. There's three. There's four. I think I'm going to stop. No, yeah, I'm going to stop right there so that I can show you how you would then secure it with a knot on the back. I'm going to wrap the thread at least twice around the needle to give it an extra secure knot. Bring that down to the base of the fabric and then pull it all the way through so that I have a knot that's not going to pull through. I'm going to do that twice. I'm going to stitch underneath and go through one more time the same way. Make a loop, wrap it twice around your needle, pull it down to the back, and then pull it tight. So now I've got it secured, and then I'm going to go back through, and don't poke your fingers. Go back through, and on this side you can trim your thread so you don't have a loose end showing. At this point you have a flower pin. It can be used, you can put a pin back on it if you want to sew a pin back on it. You can sew an elastic loop if you want to make it a ponytail holder, or you can just use it to embellish a jacket or a hat or anything else that you have. This one, as you can see, has a pin back on it, so it can be used as a pin. So there you go. That's how to make a little flower pin out of some of your scrap wool from an old sweater. Okay, I hope these the instructions that I've given you today have been useful. I'm on my way to creating a number of instructional videos that will go on my YouTube channel. My husband's been encouraging me to do that for some time, and this is the first. If you need a little more boost, a little more shot in the arm here to get this going, I'm going to have some little kits for sale on my Instagram. That's going to be in the description below. I hope that you are finding ways to spend your time right now as we are into sort of a forced hibernation with the coronavirus. And I hope that you're staying safe and out of our harm's way, and that you and your family might find this useful and enjoyable.